automatic lens.
Boop. 0 viewers. Should have started up with a new.
Oh, there we go. We're live on Facebook.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? If there's anybody there.
Okay, yeah, Melissa Jones and Burb. I gotta go to a new stream.
So we're just trying to get this sorted out. Apparently the computer just decided to not let the cameras work anymore. So we kind of had to start from scratch. But he's just going to get the YouTube portion sorted. We seem to be running fine on Facebook. So
Yeah, we're good on YouTube.
and we're good on YouTube. Hopefully everybody migrates over. Anyway,
we have sound. We're good there.
we're good. Excellent.
What happened there? I don't know.
So hopefully, I know that we've already covered this background, but I want to recap just real quick. If he switches the camera down,
I just want to make sure we
Yep.
get most of our people back. Technology.
yeah,
We're not industrial grade here. We are a laptop and some.
I'm watching
Webcams.
yes. Hi guys, Jamie Logan and Nelda Sanders and Janet Roach.
The cameras are a bit hungover from last night.
They should be well rested. They haven't done a blessed thing since the 27th, so they should be good. Diana Crean, Joyce.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys. Thanks.
Just get all the bugs out in one day.
Yeah, or have them all in one day.
Yeah, let's have them all.
Yeah, Barbara Harris is watching too.
Okay.
Nice.
You got too much tea, Tracy?
No, not too much tea. I don't know that you can have too much tea, can you? I know I can have too much coffee.
That's not true. That's a lie that the government's been spewing.
No, I can have too much coffee. I
Oh,
didn't say that.
yeah.
And I can have too much coffee.
Broke the cameras after hitting 5,000.
Maybe that's what it is. Just wore out. Okay.
All right, switching cameras.
He's going to switch cameras down.
I lost that camera completely.
Oh, great.
No, not that one.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about that one.
So sorry, no palette view for this live.
We lost it. That's all right. So what I want to do, and of course the camera's cut out just as I was doing this. So I know that the difference is quite subtle. And we're still not down.
What? Fireworks?
No, we had fireworks.
Oh, man, why is that so dark?
We still don't have a down shot. Boom, there's the fireworks. Wow, what a delay. Yeah, why is that so dark?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
I need a mouse. There we go.
He's gonna fix this now.
Hopefully.
So the difference is rather subtle between these two, but I think it's an important thing. In the first one, I found I had to work very hard to bring all of these design elements forward because this was a little too dark back here. So I wanted to make one small change. It is upside down. How did you do that?
I didn't do nothing. This is how
Wow.
This is how it came back to me.
Okay.
There we go. That's done. And clickety.
This is not a good way to start the new year.
Everything's getting flipped here.
Yeah. Thanks for the hearts, guys. You guys are awesome.
White balance? Question mark? No, I believe it would be exposure is set to. Yeah, let's change that aperture a bit.
Little bit.
Yeah, let's change it to that. Oh,
Okay.
that's a little brighter. No, focus went all wonky.
And it's still upside down.
Yeah, I've done
Oh,
all
there. That's better. Oh, that's much better.
I just got to turn that off. There we go. Should be a little bit better focus now.
Yeah. And the color's a little better. Little bit.
And I'm gonna bring up the brightness a little bit.
Okay.
How's that?
That's better. Yeah. It's still upside down.
Of course, it's gonna do that. Boom. You can put your hands in there.
Yeah, the color looks great.
Yeah, good.
Boom. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas.
Oh yeah, and your microphone's peaking. Let's bring down the volume on that a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it just defaulted everything. So
Okay.
why is that still there?
So I'm just going to do a quick recap. For the background, the panel was based with a little bit of warm white or light buttermilk. Either one will work. The paper that I used is that Tim Holtz collage paper. It's called Entomology. I love this one. It's awesome. And a little bit of matte medium. And then I used the brayer to make sure that that was well seated. And then once it was dry, I just put a light patchy coat of the media gesso over that with a palette knife. I just wanted to break up the surface a little. But my goal at this particular point is I want to subdue that, the pattern back there. I found it was very dark once I got the color on, and I really had to work hard to make the design elements that I wanted to come forward really come forward because these were so dark. So what I want to do is subdue that a little bit. So I'm just thinning out, heavily thinning out some warm white. And I'm going to brush a light coat of that over top of everything. I'm just using my fugly brush. And all that white is going to do is just take some of that
Rose and no sound.
darkness out again. Boys, we're just having an endless issues today.
We're looking good on this end.
Seems to be working on this end just fine. So that little bit of white just knocks that black down a little bit. We don't want to bury it completely. And as this dries, you're going to get a little bit of it back, but it's just, I want to take some of the harshness out of it. So just a thin wash of that warm white over top of everything, just to subdue it a little. And then I'm going to dry that with a hairdryer or with this heat gun. I love the heat gun. So it doesn't take very long. It's just a light wash. I'm not using a ton of paint in that. So now that this paint is dry, we're going to start adding some of these colors in. So I'm going to pull this down here so you can see where I'm going with this. Now the color palette that I used is the Media Fluid Acrylics. In the pattern, I do have the substitute colors listed. So if you don't have the fluid acrylics, I have some substitutes for you. So I'm using a little bit of cobalt teal hue.
Of course.
Yeah. A little bit of primary magenta.
That and Bahama blue.
I love Bahama blue. And some diarylide yellow. I love diarylide yellow. If you're using Americana, it's saffron. And we have to have some green gold because I love my green gold. Love this color. And then we got to have a little bit of Diox purple.
Oh, isn't that nice? Becca Buckner says, hope you and your family had a wonderful holiday.
We did. It was really nice. We enjoyed ourselves. So I'm going to grab, you can use an angled shader, you can use a flat, you can use whatever you have on hand. There's no special brush or magic brush needed for this part. I am using a little bit of Jo Sonja's Fast Dry Glaze for mine.
She fooled us. She used warm white instead of asphaltum.
Yeah, I did. So we're going to start with a little bit of that cobalt teal hue, and I've got a lot of glaze in my brush. I'm not using this paint straight. And I'm just going to slip slap, just slip slap.
Throw it on there all willy-nilly.
All willy-nilly. A little bit of that blue along the bottom. I want to give myself, probably about 1/4 of the way. And then I'm going to use that Jo Sonja's to blend out the edges of that. Just like that. Now, I like to do things in layers because I don't think that you need to do them all in one go. So if you like your colors softer and more subtle, then you probably only want to do 1 coat of this. But if you're like me and you want lots of intensity, you're probably going to want to do 2. So I'm starting with that cobalt teal at the bottom, and I'm going to come up here with a little bit of Diox purple.
Oh, we had a good question there.
I love Diox.
Is there much of a difference between Jo Sonja's Magic Mix and the Fast Dry Glaze?
Oh yes, big difference. Magic Mix is a little thicker. Although it's a great product, I much prefer the Fast Dry Glaze. The Magic Mix to me is a little sticky when it dries. I don't find that with the Fast Dry.
We got the football talk going on.
Oh, well, it is New Year's Day.
Is there a football game today?
There's always football on New Year's Day. I think there's like 3 or 4 bowls played today. So I've got Diox in there. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pull in a little bit of primary magenta because I love primary magenta.
Only hit Hilton. I bet asphaltum shows up at some point.
Oh yeah, it does.
It does.
It does. So I'm just going to pull a little of that primary magenta towards the center, like so.
Wow.
I love that primary magenta. And you can pull it down so that it overlaps with that blue. Pull in a little more purple. Love the purple. And I kind of walk them out so that they meet in the middle. I want these colors to meet in the middle a little bit. And then I use a little glaze to make a meld. So for this, neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. Now up here, we want to get into some of those yellows and the oranges. This is what I love about the fluid acrylics. I'm going to use, this is diarrhea yellow. This is that shockingly bright yellow. I love this color. It just, it's yummy.
For the YouTube watchers, I will turn this into a 2-part video.
Yeah, he's going to adapt it so that when it's posted, you'll be able to see the whole thing.
Yes.
So I'm going to then grab my primary magenta while that yellow is still wet. I want to get some of that yellow in there so that I get a nice bright orange.
Favorite. Yay, she said it already for 2022.
What's that? Oh, neatness doesn't count.
Yeah. Your slogan,
Nice.
your catchphrase, your...
So I like that hot orange. Hot. Love it. And then up in this corner, I want that green gold because this is my favorite green. And I'm going to pull it across till it blends with that diarrhea. And I'm going to bring it down. I love this color. It's such a great green. Yummy. Now, you don't have to worry about this being absolutely perfectly blended because quite honestly, by the time we're done, those colors are all going to meld anyway.
Fluids are more vibrant?
There's something about the pigmentation. These paints are so heavily pigmented that you get this great color and it's nice and transparent. And I find the fluid acrylics very forgiving. And what I love is that I can layer. So if I want colors more intense, I can make them more intense. If I want that blue down here to really pop, just get in there with it. Look at how vibrant these colors can be. And because they're transparent, I can overlap them, one over top of the other, until I get just what I want out of them. So oodles of control.
Why does it say day after New Year's Day?
It
Is
is
a holiday in Quebec?
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
They need an extra day to recoup?
Apparently.
Kinda sad.
Well, they're under curfew, so they couldn't.
Sucks to be a Quebecer.
So this is what I love about these fluid acrylics. So if I want the colors more intense, I can make them more intense. I want to grab more purple. Look at this. I can make them in your face vibrant just by putting on another layer. Love them. And you can mess them around with your fingers. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with them. These are just great paints. And I want to bring that. There we go.
Where can I buy fast dry glaze? May have missed as I had to switch from YouTube to Facebook.
If you're in Canada, you can get it at Stockade or Country Bear Wood. They have it on their website, or I believe Stockade has it in stock as well. If you're in the US, josonia.com has it. And our sweet lady, my brain just shut off. She does a wonderful colored pencil thing. That's terrible. My brain is not going there today.
Sheila?
No, not Sheila. Oh, it'll come to me.
Pepper out, Sandy.
Help me out. Oh my God. She's such a sweetheart. This is terrible that I can't think of her name. I'm getting
You know
old.
too many people.
And today is just not firing on all cylinders, so.
V8 is a 4-stroke. There's a 2-stroke right now.
So yeah, my V8 is down to 6 cylinders. Okay, go there.
Is this the same as ink?
No. There are some wonderful inks out there. I really love the FW inks. They're an acrylic based ink. They're fabulous. Erica Joanne, thank you. Jeez, Louise. Erica, I'm so sorry. If you see this, I'm so sorry. Erica Joanne. Oh my God. I kept thinking Joanne something and it just wasn't coming to me.
Linda Steves?
Lydia Steves.
It's Lydia Steves.
Yeah. No, the person I was thinking of was Erica Joanne. Oh my God, that's terrible. I could not get there from here.
She needed a crosswalk.
Oh, I needed a ride. Thank you for whoever said that. So I'm going to dry this real quick. Make sure it's good and dry before I do this next step. This is just fun. I love that the gesso creates this nice texture back here. It breaks up the pattern of that paper. I didn't want the paper to be the focus. It's just creating some background interest. I do like the fact that there's bugs and butterflies and whatnot in here. It ties to the subject matter. Oh, it's going to take more than a little, I think.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
A specific type of chocolate.
That's probably part of the problem.
Did you have that last night?
No, I did not.
Do you want a piece of chocolate now?
No. Oh.
It's good chocolate.
It is good chocolate,
It's medicinal chocolate.
it's medicinal chocolate.
All chocolate is medicinal.
Thank you. Your damn Skippy.
Is there a pattern for this piece on your website?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We posted that yesterday.
Kim Roberts. Happy New Year, watching from Northwest Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Penny Slivet. I'm thinking it was meant to say Pennsylvania.
oh, the closed captioning? Or did it come out really strange?
I don't know. I can't read because I stared at monitors all night.
Oh.
Did the white help the color looking so vibrant?
You know what? The white helps jump the color so that you can see it nice and bright. But just by themselves, the colors are really, really, really vibrant.
Their transparency helps with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a large number of colors in the fluid acrylic line, and there's, I forget how many, 63, I think.
They're really worried.
But what?
They're wondering when you're going to get to the asphaltum.
Okay, I'll put them out of their misery.
Okay, there you go. So where do we put the asphaltum?
So this is where the asphaltum comes in. You knew it was coming. I'm going to thin this out and I'm going to blend it well because we're going to float into the corners and along the edges.
Lost audio. Lost video. What?
So that little bit of asphaltum into the corners and on the edges.
Thank you, Sandy.
I love this. I love the way this color affects other colors. That it can subdue without making things look dirty. That you can tone colors with it without killing the color, which is the reason I use it. I love asphaltum for this. So I'm just putting a light wash all the way around the outside edge, or a light float, I should say. Not a ton of it. And then I'm going to dry it real quick because I'm going to do this again because I like having a nice dark edge on this. But you'll notice that I'm maintaining the lighter value towards the center of this panel. I want that for the contrast. So I'm going to go back around. I like to pull it into the corner a little bit, down towards the center. It does not have to be perfect. We are not looking for an absolutely perfect float. We're looking for a nice shaded value. I want that brown of the asphaltum to affect all of this.
I love the autocorrect. Yep. iPhones and Androids are great for that. Predictive text and autocorrect.
So if you feel that you want more contrast, which I do, having done this once already, I want this corner to have a lot of contrast. So I'm going to deepen that a little bit. I don't want those flowers to be fully opaque, but they kind of get lost a little bit back there. So I'm going to deepen this side a little bit so that I have a little more contrast. There we go. And I love asphaltum for that. And I like having all of these different colors in the background. Just makes things, I don't know, vibrant and fresh and very springy and not wintry at all. Ooh, I like it.
I don't, unfortunately. What? You can find the packet for this lesson here. Yeah. And then I don't, unfortunately. Jenny, what you talk about? Oh, nothing.
There we go.
What size is the piece? It's a 6 by 12.
6 by 12. I'm just using a wooden artist's panel.
You can use
For
canvas.
this, you can use canvas, you can use a media board, you could use a heavy-duty watercolor paper, you could use a heavy cardstock if you wanted to, or even just a piece of MDF.
Is Sandy out of asphaltum?
She might be. She sent me one.
Were you almost out of asphaltum?
At one point, yeah. God love her. She sent me some antique green, and she sent me a bottle of asphaltum. I can never have enough of either one of those colors.
What's included in the package?
In the packet, you have the line drawings and the detailed written instructions, plus all of the color step outs.
And alternative colors?
And the alternative colors, there's substitute colors. If you don't have the fluid acrylics, there is a list of the colors you can use. Out of the regular.
So large bottles of asphaltum.
No. I wish it came in like a 10-ounce jar. Like, I use it so much.
You should talk to somebody.
I should.
Call up Decor, but hey.
Hey.
Send me a 1 gallon pail. I know you got it somewhere.
So there is another fun little technique that I like to use on the edges of things. This piece, you notice that I left the center area of this without any asphaltum. Most of the asphaltum is on the outside edges. So it frames this up nicely, but it also keeps this area nice and bright because this is where the bulk of our imagery is going to be, right in here. So I want to make sure this is nice and dry for this next step. And I love doing this because this is just fun and it's easy. I used a Stays-On stamp pad for this part. I mean, you don't have to do this. I just happen to like this. And I'm going to rub the edges of my surface with my Stays-On, and I'm going to cut into the corners a little bit and along the edges, like so.
Where do you purchase your wooden panels, and is there a certain brand that you would recommend?
You know what? I'll be blunt. The best ones that I've found, I have ordered through art supply places like Dick Blick, or I have through Omer Dessert. But quite honestly, you can go to your local dollar store and they have cradle panels like this in most of their craft sections, and they work just fine. We keep a stock of these on the website.
There's a few.
And they're not horribly expensive, and they work really, really well. They're nice, especially for mixed media stuff. I like that harder surface for that. So I just take that stamp pad and I'm just aging the edges a little.
Got a few.
I like being able to pull some of that black in, but it's really that simple. I just rubbed the edges. And I think what appeals to me about this is that the stamp pad catches on some of the texture created by the gesso that we put in there. And so you can't get a perfect edge no matter how hard you try. And it just makes it that much more interesting. So I'm going to dry that real quick. You can do the same thing with a paint roller, believe it or not. Just load it up with your favorite black paint. You can use that and then just run it along the edge and just let the roller do its thing. Foam rollers or the little fuzzy ones that you can get at Home Depot, those work like a hot damn. So you want this surface to be nice and dry for this next part, transferring your line drawing on.
Did we lose the zombie? Yeah.
Just for today.
Just for today. We'll add something a little bit more.
We've got fireworks and whatnot for today, but
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not unusual for me. I finished this one up and then I wrote up the pattern. And of course, while I'm writing up the pattern, I'm thinking of all these ways that I can improve upon it. So I added a couple of things to the pattern when it came to the lettering that I've got up here. I made a couple of changes there too, but I left this in as well. But I did make a couple of changes. So, would you pass me my line drawing over there?
You left your line drawing over there?
Of course I did.
You want that one or?
No, the one you have in your hand. The other one. That one. Thank you much. So here's the line drawing. Now, the fun part about this is that I organized the line drawing so that you can just tuck the bottom left-hand corner into the bottom left-hand corner of the panel, line it up, and then tape it in place and you're ready to go. Make sure that your surface is nice and dry because if it's not, you're going to have trouble transferring this image. Graphite does not like fresh surfaces, unfortunately.
Karen Wilson asks, what Canadian source carries the Heat It tool?
Offhand, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't found a Canadian supplier for it.
Best place would be Amazon at the. If
I
you
think
wasn't Canadian.
Amazon.ca would probably be your best bet inside Canada.
Yeah.
And even then, I can.
Otherwise, we'd send you to Sandy McCarran.
Yeah. Sandy stocks them.
But them's coming from Georgia.
Yeah, you know what? And shipping from the U.S. for Canadians is difficult to take right now because it's pricey. So I'm using two different types of graphite. I'm using a white and a black because the black is going to be hard to see on some of these colors. So I'm just going to line that up. Now we have 3 black butterflies and 2 fully colored ones. And I'm going to find my red gel pen here.
Big Al's. I hit a Big Al's. They're going out of business. Square cradle board for 50 cents each.
Oh my goodness.
Stock up.
Stock up. This design would easily be adapted to a different surface. So I'm using a red Uniball to trace this on. The reason I'm using the red is so I can see where I've been.
Has anybody got their membership pin yet?
They are slow going. There's a whole bunch of stuff backlogged.
Yeah.
And we're still sending more out, so every time we ship something, stuff goes out. And we have more going. So I'm going to show you a neat trick for these butterflies.
Aw.
What?
Andrea George. I have a tablet stand coming from Tracy.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to do this pattern on it with the saying, neatness doesn't count.
Atta girl.
And perfection is to be avoided at all costs.
It's unachievable. When it comes to art, I mean, trying to get things perfect is an unattainable goal. I believe that you just do the best you can. Do your best.
Perfection is subjective.
Exactly.
That's the problem with saying perfect.
Yeah.
Because it could be perfect in
Exactly.
one person's eyes
And imperfect in another.
flawed in somebody else's.
That's right. Well, and when you stop and think about it.
Therefore, not perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect isn't perfect. It can't be.
The
Who decides when it's perfect? You do.
that's right.
You decide when it's perfect.
Yeah. What was it I said to you the other day? I said, what other people think of you and what you do is not your business.
Yep.
You know?
That wasn't the other day. That was this morning when I walked through the door
Oh, was
from
it?
work. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You were sitting down eating toast. Oh, dark stupid.
Oh, dark stupid, yeah.
You're amazed that we're here today? Why?
Why?
We said we were going to be.
So, I'm just going to check to see if I can actually see that. Yeah,
This
I
doesn't count when I'm cleaning my house. Have you seen the studio?
Oh my gosh. It's just a disaster right now.
It's called Controlled Chaos.
Creative chaos. I haven't really done a whole lot of creating in the last couple of weeks. I
I think you needed a break.
I took some time out to play with my pencils.
That's creating.
And that took me a while because I can't just sit down and doodle. I gotta plan it.
What is a pin for? Oh, our members are getting a little gift.
And
For
getting
being
a little.
members.
Yep. Once they've been part of the membership group for 6 months, they get a pin, and it's a cute little palette.
It's like a masonry apron. And you get a special ring. You gotta know the secret handshake.
Yeah.
And then you get to meet all the politicians that are involved, and it's a big thing.
Yeah. Huh?
We have an island.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God.
Too far.
Too much coffee and not nearly enough sleep.
No.
And you egg him on, you're going to have to deal with the fallout. That's all I'm saying.
Not quite the Illuminati.
We have fun.
How do you know what you're going to paint? Do you research?
Generally, I already have an idea of what I want to create. And yeah, I do my research. I go looking for reference photos. That doesn't necessarily mean that whatever I paint is going to be hyper realistic. Most of the time when I'm designing things for these lives in particular, I'm looking mainly for a subject matter that people are going to enjoy, and then try to develop a pattern or a design that's going to teach them something very specific. So, in a case like this, it was putting all of that color in this background is primarily the bulk of the work. And then everything that we do after this is just fun. And so I'm going to show you, some fun techniques with some simple things. Not everything has to be perfectly or meticulously painted to be effective. Sometimes it's the simplest elements are the ones that should get the most attention. And in this particular case, although there's flowers and whatnot in here, I'm really not putting a lot of focus on the flowers. The flowers are secondary to the other elements in this particular case, the butterflies. So these daisies essentially are just to sort of set the stage for those butterflies.
Remember, no one sees the original, so they never know you made a mistake.
Well, that's the fact. Honestly, it's, if you're going to sit down and paint something and you're doing it just for the pleasure of it, why worry about what anybody else thinks of your finished piece?
Absolutely.
If you come away having had a great time doing it, you come away learning something new from it that you can carry over to the next piece that you work on, then you've gotten everything out of it that you were supposed to get out of it.
That's just on YouTube, Killer Jessica.
Killerin.
All I saw was her last name for a second there.
So
there's a total of 206 people watching
oh my goodness.
Right now, and there's only 110 of them from YouTube.
Wow.
So.
Well, I'm so glad you guys decided to come and play for the day. So, as you can tell, I'm really not taking a lot of time or care to trace these daisies on because it isn't really necessary. They're just going to be loosely painted anyway. And I like using this red gel pen for this so that I can see where I've been. Makes my life so much simpler.
Holy.
What's that?
Did Facebook just catch up or something?
I don't know. Sometimes I think the chat window just sort of stalls for a little bit.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
How do you know what you're doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm getting duplicate messages here. Yes, the secret handshake is paintbrushes clicking together like swords. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Oh, somebody actually asked that.
So I'm just going to stroking this in real quick. And then we're going to talk about little filler flowers. Of course, I'm going to check to make sure I can actually see what, oh, good Lord. It helps immensely if you actually trace the shape of the wings. I got all the details, but none of the wings. Oopsie.
I agree, painting is a vacation for the mind.
It is. We were discussing that earlier, that, painting is cheaper than therapy, and Renee said, is it really? Look around. Okay, I think I can see that well enough, so we're going to go with that.
You can see that?
I can.
Oh, I can see it too.
Yep.
Negative 30 here today.
Oof, burr.
Where's here? Did you get off the wrong plane?
Get off at the
Are
wrong
you
stop.
in Antarctica?
Get off at the wrong stop. So I'm going to start with a little bit of warm white.
I'm going to adjust that camera. Because we're going to be getting into some tiny details, yeah?
Well, not super tiny, but tiny enough.
Nice and slow so it doesn't freak out. See, that was what I was trying to avoid.
That the camera's going to freak out. So while he's adjusting that, I'm just going to start base coating these petals.
You can push it forward so they can see that.
Okay. The camera was freaking out. They couldn't see it anyway. So I am just very loosely filling in these flowers, the petals. Very loosely. I'm not worrying too much about them being fully opaque. It doesn't really matter at this stage. I just want to get those petals in. So, neatness, again, doesn't really count. These flowers are just going to be incidental of the rest. We do want them filled in, but they don't need to be fully opaque.
Negative 40 sounds like eastern Montana. Yeah, that's prairies.
Yep. Flatlanders.
Yep.
We've been there.
Yo. I would prefer western Montana if I were to pick a state.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So these petals, again, I'm just using a rigger to fill these in. You're going to do the same with all of the stems and the leaves. I'm not being too picky. I just want to get a little base color down, and it doesn't need to be perfect. Doesn't even need to be opaque. I just want to get a little color in there, just so that when I go over this with the greens that we're going to use and the yellows that we're going to use, that we have something to give it a little opacity.
Facebook is ahead of the YouTube.
It always is.
Yeah, it's not. That's completely out of control. It's called latency.
Yeah.
Yeah, some companies are faster with broadcasting than others.
Yeah.
And it varies from where it's being broadcasted from to the location that you're watching from.
Yeah.
So somebody could be a few seconds ahead of you, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So there we go.
The internet is not as instant as everybody thinks it is.
No, it is not.
Because I just said that, and I bet it'll take about
It'll take a minute.
30 to 45 seconds before somebody realized I said that.
Yeah.
It's got to go through all the tubes and tunnels and mirrors and satellite and back down to your computer.
The fact that it does it as quickly as that is fascinating.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's not instant.
No.
And everybody thinks it is.
Yeah, but it isn't. So you will notice that I am just very lightly filling things in. I've thinned out this warm white.
Answered that question right off the bat.
Yep, I am. We are not looking for perfection, nor am I looking for fully opaque. It doesn't need to be. And you'll notice that where I have petals that are close together, I'm leaving a little bit of space between them because I don't want to have to retrace it all on. I'm lazy that way.
Renee geeking out. Yep.
Yeah, he geeks out in a regular.
I like networking. It's cool. Okay. Well, the best way to think about it is, remember those marble things you used to get me as a kid? Where I used to play with them at the dentist. They'd have all these tubes and they would...
Oh, yeah.
And you drop the marble in and it would clink, 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 clink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Plinko.
Yeah. That's the internet.
Yep. Yep. That is very true. I love this type of painting because it's very relaxing. Working with mixed media is forgiving, I find. You do not need to be, have 1,000,001 skills. I think the biggest benefit, biggest skill set to have when it comes to working with mixed media is just be fearless. That's all it is. Just don't worry about whether or not this is going to work or that's going to work. Just do it. See how it turns out. And just like I did with this one, especially with the first one, and I look at the background, and all of this black back here is really, strong to me. So I wanted to subdue it a little bit. But I learned that in hindsight. It wasn't until I got the whole thing finished going, oh, you know what? I think I'll change that. And you can. It's not a big deal. So the next time you do it a little bit differently. And every time you do something like this, you learn something new. I mean, if you follow just somebody's instructions all the time, I mean, you learn some things, but it's always fascinating to me how much you learn when you're not following the rules, when you're not following somebody else's rules. It's always fascinating to me what you can learn. And I am more than a little bit obsessed at the moment with mixed media, because I haven't actually done any in quite a while. I've done a little bit here and there, but I haven't done anything significant. And I've been really anxious to get back to it because I love incorporating stamps. I love incorporating stencils. I love all of the paper and all of those fun things that you can tuck into your artwork. I love that. So if you want to really play, sometimes it's just, you know what? I'm going to grab a whole bunch of some paper and some stencils and some other fun stuff, and I'm just going to run with it. And then I'm going to take that same warm white and I'm going to come over to my butterflies. Now, all of these details in the wings, these areas here, are going to get a coat of that warm white. And again, I hate tracing anything on a second time, so I leave a little bit of a space between each of those elements so that I have a little more control over it. So if you leave that little space in there, don't worry about it. The black's going to cover it all up anyway. So don't freak. There's no need to.
Don't have any media paints. Can we use regular Americana?
Yes, absolutely. You can use regular Americanas. There is a list in the pattern of substitute colors.
Thank you for not using media fluids until we could get it.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's been really, I know it's been tough, and it's nothing more frustrating than wanting to do a piece and then not being able to get everything that you need to do it with. And so I understand that frustration, believe you me.
My first multimedia was your Calm Seas.
That's a fun piece.
Donated to SDP.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with your work.
The Calm Sea is still one of my favorite mixed media pieces because it just uses all of these techniques.
And it was actually the first video she uploaded.
Yep. And it was the first live I did.
It was the very first live she did.
Yep.
So if you want to go check out that video,
yep,
go to the channel, scroll all the way down to past 50 or so videos.
Well, we've been, just in the last year, we've produced 71 new patterns.
Oh, 71 new patterns.
71 new patterns.
You gotta do some of your old stuff.
Yeah.
Like, let's dig out some 1990.
No, let's not say we did.
Why? The little Santa ornaments you used to do back
Oh,
in
yeah.
Chihuahua?
They still do them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
back when you used to cut them out?
Yeah, back in the day. That's going back a ways.
Yeah. One of Mom's favorite Christmas gifts was actually a scroll saw.
There was a lot of us did that.
Yeah. Had to. There wasn't that much of a market for it.
Well, it was a popular market. It was just a lot of things were not easy to get, depending on where you lived.
And a military base.
Not an easy place to find that stuff. So, had to make my own.
What brush are you using?
I'm using a number 2 rigger. It tends to be my default for a lot of stuff like this. But you can use a small round, a number 2 or a 4 would work just fine for this. So I have filled in all of those detailed shapes in the wings of the monarch, the boy monarch.
I did Calm Sea with you in Vegas.
Yes, I taught that in Vegas with Kathy Hansen and Holly Hanley. We had a blast. It was a fun piece.
Sandy, you said you carry the media paints? Yes, she does. She carries media paints.
Yep. She do indeed.
Do you know why they don't sell fluid acrylics in craft stores?
Honestly, I can't answer that. I don't understand why they don't. I think it's a phenomenal paint.
Go to studio.
I'm trying to.
Two things at once.
There we go.
Walk and chew gum.
Yeah, I don't do that, Bill.
Could you update some of your favorite older patterns?
I'm gradually updating a few of them. I didn't realize, when you do this for a while, you don't really realize how many patterns you have. But just since we started doing these lives, it's been over 100.
I could tell you the exact amount of videos that we've produced.
Oh, it's videos. I'm talking patterns because there's free patterns. There's patterns that we didn't do lives for.
Yeah, that's true.
So there we go. I've got all of this blocked in. Don't forget those little tabs on the edge of the wings. So now I have everything blocked in with warm white. And now I'm going to try this because now we can start adding some color to this. And you will note I have not done any of the black on these butterflies, and there's a reason for it. I like to hold off on that because I can use all of that black to fix little bobbles and wobbles and, so that things are easily come together. But I do need to make sure this is good and dry before I do the next step.
Let's go all the way down.
To there.
There we go.
Yep.
A calm sea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 11th video that you put on your YouTube channel
Yeah.
is the first live we did,
Yep.
and it's well,
There's a few.
it's sprouted.
It is sprouted, yep. Yep. Well, and I had a great time watching people downloading all of the freebies that we put up on the website too for Christmas. That was great. It's so much fun to watch people and where their creativity goes. And then you guys started posting photos and whatnot as you were painting. It was awesome. It was so much fun to watch. Okay, so I think
I can get it at the local art store, but not big box stores like Michael.
no, Michael's won't carry them. I don't know why. So we're going to start these butterflies with some diarrhea yellow. I love this yellow, of course. This yellow is flippin' awesome. So I'm going to go right over that white with a coat of that diarrhea yellow. So everywhere on these butterflies where there is white, you're going to put that diarrhea yellow. This is an in-your-face yellow. Love it. And the fun part is you don't really have to be neat and tidy at this point because we're going to clean it all up with the black anyhow. Just want to make sure that that white is covered.
Can you see where you started doing lives?
Yeah. Boom. Yeah.
Trying to find an actual number of.
Oh, I lost count.
I think it'd be under analytics.
So that diarrhea is a high saturation yellow, like big time. In your face yellow. Love it. You want to get it over all of that white. Don't forget those little stripes, those little dots that we did at the tops of the wings. Got to do those too. And I'm going to do the same to this one here. I love this. This is just fun. This part is very forgiving because we're just getting that base color in. I put that warm white on there because I wanted this color to pop. You want something to give that yellow lots of vibrancy. And then since we've got the yellow out, we're going to do the same thing to the middles of these flowers. Down here, just a thin wash. You don't need a ton of color. This is the fun part about these fluid acrylics. You do not need a lot of paint because that pigmentation is so strong. So, easy peasy. And I'm going to dry this real quick, and then we're going to use some primary magenta over top of that yellow. And you know what happens when you add red and yellow together, you get orange, and this is going to be an in-your-face orange. And I have pyrrole orange in the supply list as well. So if you're not getting the heat that you want, you can also use that. I like it actually for shading these little guys here. So now I'm switching over to a 3/8 angled shader.
Karen Jones. I have about 7 or 8 binders.
Yeah. Okay. So on each of these segments in here, we're going to put a float of primary magenta. Don't be scared.
Scared?
Scared. I love primary magenta. So it gives you this sort of rich orange. And essentially, I'm doing the base of each one of those little segments. Like so.
Got a Facebook question here. Can you talk a little bit about your membership group?
The membership group is, it's on the YouTube channel. And essentially, they get a free class and a free pattern every month. Plus, they get access to all of the videos from previous classes and previous things that we've done. Plus, they get other little benefits, free patterns and lots of little freebies. And then we do challenges and we just have a good time. Coupon codes.
And not just to her website.
Yep. There's coupon codes to other websites as well for members as they come available. So there's, some special discounts for them on a variety of things. And there's a variety of little perks and pleasures that go along with it. And we have a really great community on Facebook in the paid membership Facebook group. They're an incredible bunch. These men and women are incredibly supportive of each other, which I just love. That none of them
That's your community in general.
It's my community in general, but the membership group is just flippin' awesome. I mean, it's made up of some really incredible painters and designers in their own right. So I've just floated in a little bit of that orange, or not orange, that primary magenta, and I've just tucked that into in that lower part of each of those segments. And it's just a little float, and I'm leaving the bright yellow towards the outside edge. And I've got a little pyrrole orange here. I love this orange. This is an in-your-face orange. And so I'm going to pick up a little bit of that just because I like the heat.
Is this painting all done in fluid acrylic?
This one, yes, with the exception of some asphaltum and some warm white and some lamp black. But
how do the challenges work?
Challenges are personal. They are not a requirement. Essentially, we have a section on my website called Paid Memberships Download. And a couple of times a month, I will post some information in there. And sometimes it's a challenge, like a line drawing, or sometimes it's information. And you can choose to either do the challenges or not. That's entirely up to you. Nothing is required. Everything is done at your own pace. So if there's something that you want to try, I think one of the coolest ones we did so far was the mitten with the gingerbread cookies and whatnot. We did that. And some of the designs they came up with were incredible. The image transfer was another one.
Yeah.
And then, so they get to play at their own pace. If it interests them, they can do it. If it's not something that they're interested in doing, they don't have to do it. The idea is just to stretch yourself and have some fun. I don't like grading people. I think at our age, we're past that. Most of us are, we're not children anymore. We don't need to be graded. We're doing things because we enjoy doing them. We do things because we learn something from it. And, the ones that really want to learn something, they will ask for a critique. They will ask me for information, and I'm more than happy to give it. I firmly believe that you are never going to improve unless you paint.
Yeah, there's a lot of YouTube messages right now that the Facebook people can't see. A lot of them are saying they love the membership, they love the challenges, they've learned a lot. What else?
You know what I love about the membership?
What's that?
Is that there is no negativity.
No, I haven't seen any.
There's no negativity. All of the members, when somebody posts their work, nobody takes the time to tear them apart or to tell them that that they need to work on this or work on that. If they want you to tell them what they need to fix, they will ask.
Yep.
If they post it up there, they just want you to see and they're sharing something. And that takes a tremendous amount of courage to put yourself out there. Because, I mean, if you spend any time on social media at all, you know how vicious people can be. And so it takes courage to put your stuff out there. And the fact that the members of my group, the people that participate in the group, they are nothing but kind. They are nothing but supportive. And they get the same thing back from the other members. This is all about creating and having fun with it and enjoying it. It is not about being graded or assessed on anything that you do. It's just about having a great time with your own creativity and learning something in the process.
How much is it? I believe it is $24.99 US.
US, yep.
And $29.99 Canadian.
Yep.
Yep.
Because of the exchange.
For the exchange rate. You do get a lot more. You get a lot for your money.
Yeah. Well, and you get a free live class that is only available to members.
Yeah.
And you get the pattern for that class or any information that goes along with that class as a download from the membership section on the website. And you have access to that for 30 days. And then you have access to all of the videos from the previous classes as well.
When does the group get together? We try to aim for the last Tuesday night.
Yep, the last Tuesday evening of every month is when the live class goes. But we are on the YouTube community as well as our Facebook group daily. I mean, we're posting and looking on there daily. So, okay. So, I'm loving the heat in these.
The word of the year is focus. We'll be working on my membership groups this year. We're hoping to be able to keep up. Okay.
That's another thing. I don't really expect people to keep up.
Is it like a Zoom meeting? No.
No. No,
it's exactly not. Like this.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
But yeah.
But it is
just the group.
Yeah. So when you log into your YouTube account,
yeah,
only that account will have access to the videos that are strictly for
the members.
Yeah. Along with the lives.
Yeah.
I try to push out the notifications about 10 minutes prior to the actual live for the members. And I'll put it on the Facebook group and I'll post it on YouTube where members can see it.
Yeah.
What time Tuesday nights?
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, I gotta keep track of that.
So, at the tip of each of those yellow segments, I'm just floating in a little mixture of warm white and that diarrhea yellow. I'm just making a more opaque yellow and slightly lighter value, just putting a little highlight at the tips of those segments. And it's just a little bit. Don't want a ton.
Yeah. And it's the last Tuesday of the month.
Yeah.
So you get a free pattern and a live class.
Yeah.
And she makes sure that on the first of every month, the pattern is available to the members.
Yeah.
So that way, at the end of the month, you have accumulated either your surface or any other materials you may need.
Yeah.
Whether it be a brush or paint or a sanding block or a stamp.
Yep.
And you get all sorts of, coupon codes.
Little perks.
Yeah, every once in a while, Painting with Deb will give you a coupon code to shop on her website.
Ooh, speaking of Deb's website.
And Sandy McTeer as well. She'll usually give us a coupon code for her website She doesn't hesitate.
And Sheila Landry, same thing.
And Sheila Landry.
Yep.
I haven't seen Sheila today.
Oh, she's still vacationing.
I have to let her.
Good for her. She finished her leopard. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely incredible. That woman is amazing. So I was talking about with Deb.
Today we were waiting until after dinner to see what we're painting.
Oh yeah, I'm not posting it until after dinner.
Ooh,
I'm
sneaky.
torturing them.
Sneaky.
I'm having some fun.
You were saying Deb's website. Yeah.
Yes, Deb's website. Deb has just got the new Stampendous catalog in
Oh, yeah.
for 2022. So all of the stamps that she has on her website right now are 40% off. So if you're looking for stamps, you want to get into them before the newest stuff comes in and this stuff all goes out, now is a great time to go and hit her website, because at 40% off, that's literally at cost.
Yeah.
It's literally at cost.
Boom.
So yeah, it's a good time to be buying Stampendous stamps.
Where can we see Sheila's leopard?
Oh, if you go to Sheila Landry's website, or not website, on her Facebook page.
Front and center?
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Make sure you got nobody's phone number popping up. I can't blur live.
No, I'm just trying to find it on Facebook. If I can stop with the notifications here.
So if you're on Facebook and you're thinking about trying to get in with the membership, you do have to go to YouTube to sign up. YouTube controls all the money transaction. So it's a security thing, it's a taxes thing, and it alleviates a lot of stress on, well, her. She doesn't have to do
I don't have to do all of that.
there's
So-
no all the payment processing is through YouTube. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, this is Sheila's snow leopard cub done in soft pastel. It is freaking amazing. Just flippin' amazing. That woman has an incredible gift. But yeah, she's been working on this over the holidays. It's just gorgeous. I did a bird. She does this. Incredible. The woman is unbelievably talented. So I know this looks rough, and it will for a little bit. We've got all that orange, that luscious orange and magenta in there.
Butterfly trapped in a different dimension.
It's kind of freaky looking right now, but it's about to get a little more thing. So we're going to take a 1/2 inch angled shader, and we're going to flute a little asphaltum. I know, what a shocker.
Gasp.
So now we're going to put a little shadow underneath our butterfly. So essentially, I'm just going in and around the line drawing with a float of thinned asphaltum. So this part is kind of where this all comes together quite nicely. I just want to get a nice little shadow in here. This is going to help define our butterfly a little bit. And it helps lift these butterflies off the surface. It's not a strong float, but it's just enough to elevate this a little bit. I am not going to do too much of it to these ones up here. Oops. Simply because I don't think it's necessary with those ones, because they're black. They're all black. So nice little shading in and around my butterfly, just to lift it off the surface a little bit. Here we go. And we can tuck a little bit of this into these flowers here if it's not quite dark enough for you. And I think we're okay there. So now that I've got all of that shading in place, now we're going to start adding some black to these butterflies. And they're going to really pop when we do this. This is where they just suddenly come to life. So I'm going to thin out. I'm using a number 2 rigger for this because I like my smaller brushes for this stuff. And this is where I come up and clean up. So I'm going to fill in some of these larger areas with the number 2. We are going to switch to a liner to do the finer details, but I like the rigger for filling in some of these bigger spaces because I got a little bit more control over it. And what I love about this is that this is where I get to clean up any of those little rough edges. So by doing this, I get a lot more of that nice detail and it looks so much cleaner. And I love that I can get into those tight areas with that rigger. I don't worry too much about the little details, but coming up close to those edges. And there we go. Love it. Don't forget, those bigger areas need to be nice and opaque. That's why I switched to the Americana for this. Although I have to say, the black in the fluid acrylic, the carbon black, is a gorgeous black. And it does cover well. But for larger areas, I don't like using up that because it is a pricier paint. So I don't mind using the Americana for this. Works really nicely. So, I'm just going to base coat that body.
What do we get? What did I miss? What did I miss?
I don't know. What'd you miss?
I don't know.
So you left me all alone.
Ooh, okay. Who painted the leopard?
That was done by Sheila Landry. Absolutely. And it's not painted. It's done with soft pastels, pencils.
How many number 2 riggers do you have?
Me personally, or
Our inventory, or
I probably have 5 or 6 that I use on the regular basis.
number 2,
I'm,
3.
I don't know how many we have left in inventory. He's checking. We just got them in.
13.
Yeah, there's not too many left. So if you're looking for a number 2, they don't last long, so.
Well, zeros don't last long either. There's 4.
Oh, wow. That's it?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Who's your contact at Dynasty? Victoria?
I'll call it Veronica.
Veronica. Why do I keep...
I don't know why you call her Victoria.
Victoria.
She's been my bud for almost 20 years. I can't believe I've been with Dynasty that long. Wow. So,
New to Facebook, just joined Sandy McTeer tribe.
awesome. Sandy's tribe is awesome.
Yeah, she has a tribe.
Yeah.
Mom has a gang.
I have a gang.
Or gaggle.
No, it's a gang.
It's a gang.
Yeah, our gang colors are asphaltum and warm white.
Do you have any smaller fugly brushes?
There is a half-inch fugly.
Fugly? Half-inch fugly?
Yep, there is a half-inch fugly. I have those in inventory too.
Still gotta talk to Dynasty about rebranding those.
Put my name on it.
Tracy's
Fugly brush. That would be funny.
It would be hilarious. I bought 2 and I recently got them. Thank you, Tracy.
Excellent. Riggers and fugly brushes. When it comes to brushes, I don't use
Gang colors?
my gang colors, yeah. Asphaltum and warm white.
Not in that order.
Bahama blue.
Bahama blue, warm white, and asphaltum.
Those are my gang colors.
Are we doing a giveaway today?
We are. We have a set of Dynasty Faux Squirrel.
Ooh.
It's a 3-brush set.
A 3-brush set.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some nice.
How many are we giving away?
We're giving away 3 sets.
3 sets.
So now I'm going to switch to a liner for this. I'm going to use my, if I can find it, because I've been having.
I kind of want to do a caricature. Blah!
Is English a second language today, son?
I'm running on 3
Yeah, I
hours
know.
of sleep. So.
And caffeine,
Barely. I've had 1 coffee.
like I said. So I switched over to my 50-knot liner to do all of these little details in here. And I've just thinned out a little bit of lamp black.
An antique green.
Antique green, that could also be one of our gang colors. So all of those little fine lines in those wings are done with the 50-knot. Renee's loading up the wheel.
The great thing is, there's a bunch of new names.
Nice.
Add some new names here.
So this part is just fun. If you like the details, this part is the fun part. I'm fond of my 15-knot liner. This is a Dynasty Micron.
Oh, Linda Giesbrecht.
Linda Giesbeck.
She says, "Hi, Tracy."
Hi, sweetie.
Another gorgeous design. Love the colors. Happy New Year to you and your family.
Thank you. Hopefully you're thawing out in winter bag. I know you guys have had it really cold the last few days out there. Here we go.
Who posted that?
Who posted what?
Jessica Killerman.
Ooh, pretty.
She did a fun little cardinal. Saying Merry Christmas. I can't define the... Ooh. Aw.
Puppers. That's the problem. He gets looking around Facebook and on Instagram and on TikTok.
I don't have Facebook.
You do right there.
I don't. This is your Facebook.
I know, but you're looking around on it.
I know. I'm looking for your life.
Well, you should be on Tracy Moreau Live.
Yeah. Maybe I should click
That helps.
Hey, there it is.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to grab a bunch of names from here.
Ah. Oh, I see. So he's having to grab a bunch of names off of the Facebook feed because they haven't been with us before.
Yeah, some of the names I don't recognize though.
Uh-huh. So this is the fun part about this. It's just by leaving all of that black for the very end, I get to clean up all of these edges and these fine lines and these little spaces in between in the wings. And it just finishes this butterfly really nicely to get all of those things nice and crisp.
How do you get so much paint in the brush?
You know what? Right there. Joe Sonia's Fast Dry Glaze. Dress your brush in that. Thin out your paint. Load it up. It's a 15-aught. If you're just using it straight with water, it's not going to hold much. But you put that glaze in there and look out. You can go for quite a while.
Norma's got an issue with her 50-knot liner.
Oop, what's wrong with your 15-aught? Is it splitting?
I don't see. Problem with the dual feed is once it hits the top,
Yeah, it disappears.
It disappears. So
Yeah.
if
What
I
was
miss
the name?
Norma Luther.
Okay, Norma, I'm looking for your question here.
I think it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
YouTube. I think I could bring it up here. Norma. Look at all the gold paintbrushes.
All kinds of gold paintbrushes.
We got some silver ones. We got some blue ones.
So look at that. So I've got that, all of those fun details on that wing, all those fine ones. Just pop that in with that 15-aught. And it works nicely.
When I use the 15 liner, I can't get it to go far. It's very watery mixture.
It is. It's very thin. And liners don't technically hold a ton anyway. But that's one of the reasons that I use that fast dry glaze, is because it just seems to be that right balance between thin and paint. And so I get better coverage, nice strong line work and whatnot out of it, and it just flows smoothly off the brush.
Okay. I have 201 names.
Wow. That's a packed wheel.
Yep. Current viewers, we have 201 viewers.
Nice.
Okay. So you're all here.
Everybody's here. Good. And you spun the wheel.
Yeah, it's going. It's going.
Cottage Glen.
Cottage Glen. I'm thinking that might be a business.
It's a username, I'm assuming, or
Cottage
a
Glen.
business. But if you are Cottage Glen, go to tracymoreau.net, go to my website. On the homepage in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little speech bubble. Click on that and send us a message with your shipping information, and we will get a nice little 3-brush set of Dynasty Faux Squirrel out to you on Monday.
Yeah. How about we do another?
Nope, he wants to do another.
That's right. You can always do one for the end.
That's true. So I've got all of my black in place, and I'm going to come up here and do the same thing to this little one. But you know what? I'm going to leave that one for a while. I am going to come up here. Now, there's 3 silhouettes. What happened?
My wheel crashed.
His wheel crashed. Oopsie.
There's too many names.
Too many names. So, those little silhouettes up there just get painted lamp black. Nothing fancy. Just paint them a nice solid black. Now, there is a reason for why I painted 3 butterflies black and only 2 with color. I wanted to imply that there were several of them, and some of them are flying away from you, and hence the reason that these 3 are painted black. Because at this distance, you wouldn't really see the detail in them anyway. So by painting them black, it just implies that there's a great deal of distance. He's still trying to get that wheel going.
Yeah. Luckily, I went to the results page and it gave me the name from the last spin. So.
Okay.
And that is Wendy Hosey?
Let's see.
Hosey. Hosea. Hosey. Wendy
Jose.
Hosey?
Wendy Jose. So, Wendy, if you are watching, which hopefully you still are.
Yeah, she is.
Yep.
She's on Facebook.
Just go to my website on the homepage, little speech bubble in the lower right-hand corner. Click on that, send us a quick message with your shipping information, and we will get your 3-brush set, Dynasty Faux Squirrel, out to you.
Yeah. What types of brushes?
It's a nice set of rounds.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's it. We've got 3 little black butterflies. I use these butterflies, the silhouettes, quite often. I like that distance. I also like the formation. So it's just a design element that I kind of default to every once in a while. Just because I really like it. So I'm just going to quickly fill in these black wings on our female
Wendy says thank you.
monarch. You're welcome, Wendy. Thank you for
Jose.
watching.
Jose.
Jose.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you pronounce it.
I'm always worried I'm going to mispronounce it and offend somebody. Because, my mouth is a size 7.
Isn't your shoe size 7?
Uh-huh.
Comes
Comes the dawn.
I have a size 9 mouth.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it varies actually.
Yeah.
Size 9, 9.5.
18, because you can get both of them in there when you try hard.
Yeah. I'm good at that one.
Unfortunately, I think that's genetic.
Are you speaking for yourself?
I am.
Okay. Are the fluid? Okay. I'm guessing the fluid acrylics. Are they a thinner consistency?
They are a little. They are also, as I said, there's 60-some colors in this product line.
Kneecap deep.
Kneecap deep, yeah. Some people.
Occasionally.
Mm-hmm. He does have that gift. Not that it bothers him much.
Guys like the flat so they
Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing it, so
yeah.
there we go. Just at the angle. I haven't figured out, I should have my new glasses on and I don't.
Have you done the stencils yet?
Nope, not yet.
No.
You can do the stenciling at any time. I did them, when I did the original piece, I did them right off the bat. And then in hindsight, again.
A lot of people liking and sharing,
Well, that's good.
but not going to the YouTube channel and subscribing.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button on that.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
It helps a lot.
Yeah. Now, subscribing is not the same as being a member.
No.
That was one thing
That confuses people.
that confuses people. And but subscribing, all you're doing is following the channel.
Yeah.
Which means, if you set your bell notifications, you'll know when we go live. You'll know when we post new videos. So,
It's the big red button.
It's the big red button. If you want to join the membership group, it's the blue button
That says join.
that says join. And then that one is the paid membership group. So again, I'm going to use that 15-aught liner to separate all of those details on our butterfly wings. And I'll show you again. This is our male butterfly. This is our female butterfly. And I know you're all waiting with bated breath for me to tell you how I know the difference. So the male monarch butterfly has an interesting little marking on this little segment right here. And so he has a little dot on each wing, right about there.
I don't know what that is.
And this designates him as a male butterfly, and the female does not have that marking. Interesting. That was fascinating. I don't know a whole lot about butterflies. I know that there are some people that have just incredible knowledge about them. And monarchs are fascinating to people.
Usually anthropologists.
You know, entomologists.
Entomologists. Anthropologists? What's an anthropologist?
Anthropologists, study of people. Anthropology.
Where has my...
Are you looking for something?
Yeah. You're getting close to the end of the stream, so
Yeah.
I wanted to have our end screen ready, but it looks like we're
There we
SOL.
So I've got all my little details painted in, except a couple right here. I seem to have whoopsied. So there is our female butterfly. And interestingly, there is a little bit of white right here on both of the male and the female, just at the base of their wings here. Just a little line. I'm not sure why, but. So we're going to highlight our butterflies.
Does that mean if the little dot on his wings functions as a reproductive organ?
No, but I think it's a signal.
It's an identifier.
It's an identifier. So I'm going to put
Yeah.
a little float of warm light
That
down the left side of our butterflies, both the male and the female, just a light float. And then I'm going to take my rigger and we're going to start adding some fun little details to the wings. Now, I've done this rather loosely, but it's just some dots. I essentially just filled in some of the larger spaces with larger dots.
I have no idea if this is going to work. Well, the end of the stream could be interesting. Could be very interesting.
So I'm just filling in some of those spaces on our butterfly with some larger white dots, like so. And then we're going to sort of fill up that space with some smaller ones, like this. I am not worrying too much about getting them absolutely perfect.
Missed the beginning. Did you use stencils or stamps? Neither.
Neither. We used paper.
You used paper and the line drawing.
And I kind of like these little tiny dots along the edge of the wings. I just find it adds a nice texture to our butterfly. So there's no real rhyme or reason to how they go on there. I'm just filling that space a little.
I'm curious.
What are you curious about?
Will one of the backgrounds you'll be teaching be that wood grain?
A higher end wood grain, not the typical barn board.
No.
We are going to be doing a wood grain.
Like pine?
More like an oak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to do a motorcycle like that, and I never did it. That's going to be fun.
We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk about a number of different types of backgrounds. So I'm just using the white just to create a little texture at the edges of the wings. There's no real rhyme or reason to these dots. It's just a little texture. Like so. But it does make our butterfly pop. And I'm going to use I'm going to switch to my 15-aught. And we're going to add a detail down the head. Just a little highlight. Like so. And I want to separate these wings a little bit, just a little, so I'm going to pull a fine line of white right there. Just to delineate it so that you can see that there is some sort of separation between them. And he comes together quite nicely.
Can I zoom in? I can. How far?
And then we're going to give our male butterfly some antenna.
That would.
Super easy. Going to do the same thing to our little female out here. And these little shadows, I do kind of like a little bit in there. And I'm going to do the same thing to this little female up here. I'm going to add those dots to it, although they're going to be considerably smaller because of the size of the butterfly. And less detail, obviously, because she's closer. So I'm just putting a few little dip dots along the edge of the wing, like so. Again, I'm not really worried too much about where they're located because she's much further away than...
You have a monitor, don't you? You can see what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. I have it zoomed in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the end of the stream could be interesting.
Why?
I
You don't know what's going to happen?
don't know if the computer's gonna blow up or
Why? What did you do?
no, I just got a heat warning.
Oh,
Yeah, she's pumping out some heat.
okay.
It's a first. I mean, we could blow out the dust out or something.
I think maybe we should switch out the stands.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the same thing to this little female. I'm going to add a little highlight to her body. And I'm also going to add a fine line to give you a nice separation on those wings, just like that. Nothing too significant. So there we have our butterflies. The only thing we have left to do is to sort of finish out these little daisies down here, which isn't going to take too long. And then we're going to decoupage and add our text up here. This part's going to go pretty quickly because we don't really want any heavy detail or significant detail in these flowers, but we are going to have to give them a little bit of shape and a little bit of depth, and we're going to do that with a little bit of that cobalt teal, and I'm putting just a little at the base of the petals.
Bring it closer to you. Or
There we go.
that way.
So just a little of that blue at the base of the petals near the center and where the petals overlap. It is a very transparent float. We don't want a ton of color on there. And it's just to give these petals a little bit of shape, a little definition.
Remember when the millennium came and the world thought computers would blow up?
Yeah.
Will it be like that, Renee?
It could be. We're hoping it isn't.
Everybody thinks that like planes will fall out of the sky, and luckily there's called redundant systems.
Yeah, redundancies.
So planes will not fall out of the sky. They just won't. Yes, there's a lot of computers in planes nowadays, but they're not reliant on them.
Yeah.
They can still fly and maneuver without the computers.
So the centers here are going to get a little float of that orange, or you can use the,
Your Tesla, on the other hand,
the Tesla's hooped.
Tesla would be hooped. But your 1953 Chevy pickup
We'll still run.
will run like a top.
So I just put in a little shadow in the center of my flowers. And it's loose. I'm not doing anything really significant. I'm going to shade the center a little bit with a little bit of asphaltum, just to define the centers a bit more, like so. And then we're going to grab that rigger and we're going to start doing our leaves. Now, I love my green gold. I love this green. And this is why we based all of those leaves with the warm white, so that I can come in and just stroke in that green gold like so.
The whole millennium Y2K.
Y2K.
Yeah, the old Y2K theory. If it were to actually happen, it would happen instantly.
Yeah.
And there would be no way to fix it.
Yeah, it would just be done.
Yeah. All the computers would shut off. You wouldn't be able to turn them on. You wouldn't be able to do anything. You can't even fix a computer if you can't turn it on.
Yep, that's fact.
So
Can you imagine if the internet disappeared?
that's literally what would happen. The internet would disappear.
Yep.
In a blink of an eye.
Yep. So I'm just putting a simple single coat of that green gold on top of those leaves and on the stems. I am not worrying about the details. Now, I did list sap green or plantation pine in my supplies, although I didn't shade any of this with it. I'm going to show you what I did with it. So I'm going to take a little bit of sap green and I'm going to use my 3/8 angled shader. And we're going to put in just a few little filler leaves, which means we're going to pick up that green as if we're just going to base coat with it. And we're just going to stroke in a few simple leaves, just like this. It's a simple S stroke, nothing too over the top. We're just tucking in a few leaves here and there.
What are you talking about, Renee? Oh, there's a small conversation about Y2K.
Yep. He's geeking out again. So I like just tucking in a few of these little leaves here and there. Again, I'm not worried about the detail. It is irrelevant for this. It's just a little filler. And then you can use the liner to add a few little stems if you choose. And again, not too heavy on the detail. It isn't necessary. It's just to more or less to connect these leaves to something. And I'm just connecting them to the other greenery.
Mm-hmm. Sandy McTeer, don't let that sunshine fool you. It gets ugly in minutes. Is it getting ugly in Georgia?
I don't know. So I'm going to dry this. I love this part. We're going to dry this. And then we're going to grab a stencil and we're going to add some fun little details to this. If I can get it to dry. There we go. So I'm going to start with my postage stencil. I love this one. Anybody that knows me knows I love this stencil because I use it all the time. And I'm going to tuck this right there, up in the corner. And I'm going to use a little bit of 24 karat gold for this because I like gold. I think there should be a little metallic in everything. And I'm just stenciling really loosely. I am not worrying about getting this perfect because it doesn't matter. It's going to be relatively indistinct anyway, just by the nature of this piece. I like it. And I'm thinking I'm going to bring a little of this in down here because I love this. Neatness doesn't count. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, it's rained so much in Georgia, we're about to float away.
Oh no.
Sandy, if you have a boat, come get me.
Oh no. It's that bad?
Or are you working at the very bottom?
I was at the very bottom. Ta-da. So I'm just going to dry this paint real quick. And then I'm going to use this Harlequin one. I like the pattern of this. And it also helps us lighten this a little bit.
We were tooting your horn for you there, Sheila.
Hey, Miss Sheila.
We showed off your leopard.
I know, unfrickin' believable. So I am a big fan of this Harlequin stencil, but I also am a big fan of not letting it be too perfect. So I'm not letting them complete. I'm just tucking a few here and there. They're not opaque. I'm not using the paint full strength. I kind of like the idea that they're imperfect.
I can zoom back a little bit. You're not doing heavy details in the flowers just yet.
No. And we're going to do that with pencils and our pens anyway, so. So I like that these are incomplete, that it creates a little bit of pattern and whatnot in there without being over the top. And you can tuck it wherever you want it. So if there's an area that you feel needs to be a little brighter, you can bring a little of that in. And don't be afraid to put some over things. You can do that too. If there's an area you're not happy with, use a stencil to bury it a little bit. Not a big deal. Makes things interesting. I just love how that looks. So I've tucked in a little bit. I like this diamond pattern because it draws the eye up and down the piece, just by the nature of the direction of the pattern. And then I can't do anything without these pens. So this is where I do these like sketchy little lines on my petals. I just love how this looks. I do the same thing around that middle. Add a few little details. This just gives them a light look, nothing too heavily detailed, nothing fancy, nothing elaborate. It just makes these flowers feel loose, which appeals to me. And they look softer, I find, when they've just got this light detail around them. There's just something about them. Now, if you wanted to, you could add little dip dots to the centers of these if you wanted. You could add glitter to them if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. I like this sort of irregular and indistinct, sketchy look that goes around them. And it also, I mean, if there's things about your design that you're not happy with, this is where you can smooth them out, define them a bit more without being too heavy-handed.
You know somebody asked.
What's that? Oh, the pens?
Yeah.
They're on the website.
What is it called?
This is a Uniball Signo, and it's a black gel pen. And before anybody asks, yes, you have to seal this before you varnish. Although I've never had it smear on me when I varnish, it is a gel pen. It is not a water Right, it is a water-based ink, so it will smear if you're a little heavy-handed with it, but I just, to avoid any issues with it altogether, I just quite simply hit it with a couple of coats of matte spray before I'm done, and it's all good. And then I do the same thing to those leaves, just put that little sketchy line around them, add the details. And again, it's just the general shape. You don't need to make it perfect. Now I got one more flower down here to do. I love how this looks. It's just light and sketchy looking. You can add fun little details as you see them, as you want them. So my girl Sheila has been taking a break.
She's back to work on Monday.
She's back to work on Monday. She took a much deserved break. So if you placed orders on her website over the holidays, if I know Sheila, she's going to be working like a slave to make sure that they go out in a timely fashion because that's how she does things. And I can guarantee you're going to love them when you get them because her work is impeccable. Things are perfectly sanded. They're ready to paint. You don't have to do any major prep to them other than, get them ready for your color, basically.
Oh, you're pretty much done, eh?
Yeah, so I've got my stenciling in. I've got my little detail and my flowers done. I love that I can just sketch in those little details. It's fun. So I got that done. So the only thing we have left to do is our lettering. And what do you want to bet I didn't print it out? Probably not. Fireworks! Good Lord, I did not.
You didn't?
I didn't.
You done didn't?
I done didn't.
Hey, take your time.
Jeez Louise. Some days that elevator does not go to the top floor. And today is one of them.
All the Facebook watchers need to go to YouTube and subscribe, please.
Who said that?
That was Robin Stone.
It's too funny. Okay. Like seriously, I am just. Elevator does not go to the top floor today.
Ooh, Sandy, look at you.
She do.
She caught something before I did.
What's that?
Before it even showed up. What is this? It's in Cyrillics. Timed out.
Oh. Okay.
I can't even ban them or get rid of them. It should give you the, you have administrative powers, you should be able to ban them. They're, Sandy. They're giving you that much issue.
Okay. Honestly.
Beautiful place to start the new year. Oh, thank you for this, Tracy. Really needed this today. Really down sick with bronchitis for the last 10 days.
Oh my goodness.
Ouch.
There's quite a few respiratory things floating around these days. Okay, I know I have scissors. There we go.
It was hidden. Oh, okay.
Okay, I was looking for a pair of edging scissors. So I have my lettering on the print. I've done two different types. I did it this way in the pattern so that you have this nice little single element. I also did it in a slightly different font, and then I did it this way. And again, me in hindsight. So I'm cutting this out. Okay. So I put a space in between them so that you can literally
Yep, there
cut
you go.
out each sentence and then place it wherever you want.
You should be good.
I just think this is a fun way to do this.
Go figure. New Year's Day brings out the strange people. I don't even know what you're saying. I didn't even get to see some of the messages.
So if nothing ever changed, there would be no butterflies. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You could do it like this, or you could just tear it out. You can do that too.
Vor red.
I don't know what that means. Google Translate.
Probably gonna be
So I rather like that. Although this is pretty, I rather liked this. So, and this way I could move it around however I please, right? So what I would do is I'd take each one of those little cutout bits, and we're going to take our 1/2" angled shader and some asphaltum. You cannot tell me you weren't expecting this. And I'm going to float right along the bottom of each of these pieces. Just put a little float of asphaltum along the bottom. I did it all the way around on the first one, and I personally find it a little heavy-handed. So again, when I say that I frequently repaint things several different times, several different ways, I do, because I never really know how something's going to look until you get it done. So when I go back and I look at it, as much as I love this piece, there's a couple of things I'd change, and there's nothing to say you can't change them. So it's your piece. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to take a little bit of matte medium, like so. Generously spread some across the top.
Ooh, okay.
And then I'm going to lay this in. So this first sentence, if nothing ever changed.
Cool. There's a dating website.
Oh, lovely.
Russian dating website.
Get your...
Careful. And then I'm going to put
Single
this.
men looking for green card.
There we go. A little bit of matte medium over top. And then the last piece right here. I do try to keep them reasonably well spaced and straight. Straight's good. Little matte medium over top. Now you can spatter this with a little bit of asphaltum if you want, or a little bit of thinned warm white. Either one will work really nicely. I'm thinking I'm going to do a little bit with asphaltum because I like to spatter stuff. Not a ton of it, just a little. Keeps things interesting.
Boom.
And then I'm going to do it again with a little bit of warm white because I like the lighter value on there.
What's matte medium?
And here we go, a little bit of warm white. Spatter, spatter, spatter. Because I do it my way, not Sandy's way. Because if I do it Sandy's way, everything gets covered in paint.
Yeah, I'll be cleaning cameras.
We'll be cleaning everything.
Oh my god, Renee sounds like the 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, that's one of those reality shows. I don't know. So I'm going to dry that. Now to finish this off completely, I will take some lamp black to the outside edges to finish off the edges. And I will hit it with probably 2 to 3 light coats of matte spray. Deckwort's matte spray to finish this off.
Pam Stover asks, what's matte medium?
Matte medium is it's very much like a decoupage medium. I call it the everything. It's actually was originally developed to flatten out paint. So if your paint had a gloss or a sheen to it, you could add a matte medium to it to change the sheen of the paint without changing the paint's viscosity. Hence the reason it's the viscosity that it is. However, it also has really great adhesion properties. So you can use it like a decoupage medium. You can use it to, as I said, change the sheen level on your paint. You can apply it over top as a barrier coat. So if you're painting and you're happy with what you've done and you don't want it to move, you can put a coat of matte medium over top of it before you do the next stage of your painting. And then once this is completely dry, whatever you've painted underneath it is protected. So you could remove paint, you could do a bunch of things without damaging what you've already done. So matte medium is an awesome all-purpose product, and I love this one in particular, the Decor Media one. There is a matte medium in the premium tube acrylics, but I am partial to this one. I like the consistency of it. It's easy to work with. It's water-based. You can put it in patches and it dries completely matte. You get a beautiful dead flat finish from it. And I love working with this stuff. So that is Decor Media Matte Medium. This stuff is the bomb. If you want to get something that's really going to up the ante for you, love this stuff. If you can't get your hands on matte medium, then Decor's Decoupage Matte is the next one that I would recommend using.
Somebody asked, what do you call those scissors? Edging scissors?
These are just edging scissors. I have probably about 35 pairs of these. I don't know. They come in all different patterns and whatnot. I got this set at Walmart for like $20, and I think there was like 18 scissors in it. It was like they were stupid cheap, but they're awesome. I use them for cutting out all sorts of stuff. They're great fun.
Okay, switching camera.
This was fun.
Yay.
So we've drawn all 3 brush sets.
Yes.
Good.
Third one was Nelda Sanders.
Nelda Sanders. So Nelda, go to the homepage on my website at tracymoreau.net. Go down to the bottom right-hand corner, click on the little speech bubble, and send us a message with your shipping information, and we will get your brush set out to you on Monday. Well, guys, this was a fun way to spend New Year's Day. Now I got to go cook a ham.
Ham.
So that is it for us today. Thank you so much for coming and spending the afternoon with us. This was fun. I enjoyed it. If you have any questions ever about any of the stuff that we do on the Saturday Lives, don't be afraid to hit that little speech bubble on the homepage on my website. Those messages come directly to me, so I'm more than happy to answer your questions whenever you have them. We do have the supplies for this, other than the fluid acrylics. The fluid acrylics are available at sandymctierdesigns.com. You can go and check that out. They're also available on decawart.com and maureenbaker.com. She's got them there. I have the paper that we used, I have the stencils we used, and the pattern is also available on my website. So if you're looking for any of that. What are you giggling about now?
Your hand gesture was perfect when a notification popped up. You held your hand up and
Oh,
notification came up.
I'm God now.
You did it again! Okay.
So,
That notification's way too big.
is it?
It's huge.
It is huge. Oh, it's the Happy New Year one. Oh my gosh.
Let me break that down.
I suppose. That's pretty cool though that you can do that.
What?
Those images that you put on the on the feed. That's pretty
I
neat.
could do a bunch of them.
That's what scares me. I should probably be very afraid.
If I could hook up the phone to the software, I can make your head a dog.
Okay, I'm glad you can't do that. Some days we're close
or
enough.
An octopus or a shark. You can do all sorts of funky
Or
things
just
with this
mad.
be interesting.
It could be. All right, guys. I think that's it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us for our New Year's Day, our first live of 2022. There's going to be a whole bunch more. We will see you next Saturday. We're going to have a new design up for you on Tuesday. I think Monday or Tuesday. It'll be up on the website. Now I got work to do. All right, guys. Mwah, we love you. Please stay safe, and we'll see you next week.